Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Leesburg. Our theme for the year of 2023 is Living Out Loud. And for the month of September, our focus is Love Out Loud. Our message today is titled Love Thy Neighbor, and it will be given by our wonderful spiritual director, Charlene Banks. We are so glad that you joined us here today. And if you're a visitor, you're coming by an invitation from a friend, we want to extend a special welcome to you. Give you just a little service today. You'll see a welcome video in just a moment. We'll do a meditation. We'll have some wonderful musical pajamas. Charlene will do our message, and she'll have prayer. We'll have music again, and then we have announcements, and we end our something that we call Press, where we hang out and we share any things from our service today that just resonated with us. It's kind of like the after coffee thing via Zoom. So that's a little rundown of what we're going to do with you today. And like I said, we're so glad that you joined us. So sit back and enjoy our welcoming video.
Yes, coming up in one moment.
Okay.
Yes, all righty. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. All righty. Sorry, guys. Everything changed on Zoom. It's all good. You're ready.
Please join us as we create our sacred space. We set our intentions of deepening into our awareness and practice of our 5 pillars of spiritual living by lighting this candle in our virtual world. Our first pillar is sacred study, represented by the divine quality of truth. We use this pillar to recognize the importance of an open mind and the power of our minds. The second pillar is affirmative prayer, represented by the divine quality power. This pillar honors the power of prayer in our daily lives. Our third pillar is meditation and the divine quality of peace. This pillar reminds us of the importance of meditation and the peace we feel when we quiet our minds. The fourth pillar is circulation and the divine quality of life. We know that the great law of circulation works in our lives. As we give, so shall we receive. And the fifth pillar is sacred service and the divine quality of love. This pillar affirms our call to be of service to our world as we see through the eyes of love. Let us close our eyes as we bless this sacred space and our time together. As we weave each of these pillars of spiritual living into our service today, may they deepen our own spiritual practices of study, prayer, meditation, circulation, and service, expanding our minds and our hearts to the 5 divine qualities of truth, power, peace, life, and love. We also bless everyone who made our service possible today and everyone in attendance. May the energy of love that is generated here bless everyone abundantly, and so it is.
And so it is. And now it is time for our meditation. So for today's meditation, I picked the loving kindness meditation. Thought that was kind of in tune with what we have planned for our service today. So I'd like you to just sit back and relax, take a deep breath, and hold and release. Let's do that one more time. Take a deep breath, hold, and release.
Shake out any tension that you might have in your body this morning. Always feels so good. And let's begin. So I'm going to say, this is one of my favorite meditations if you've been a regular here. And if you're new and just joining us today, I think you're going to really enjoy this. So I'm going to say a phrase, and then I want you to repeat along with me when I say it again. Here we go. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. May I be happy. So that was a gift you gave yourself. Keeping with our theme, Love Thy Neighbor, think of someone that you'd like to send a message of love to. Hold them in your mind. Maybe they're in the same room with you. Maybe they're across the state. Maybe they're in another state. Maybe they're in another country. But just hold an image of their face in your mind's eye if you cannot see them directly. And once again, repeat after me. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. May you be happy. Gives me a warm feeling in my heart. How about you? All right, here comes the tough one. You need to think of someone with whom you are not at peace. And our theme is Love Thy Neighbor, and that includes everyone. So hold in your mind's eye someone who maybe you're having a little struggle with, a little conflict. Maybe you're just not matching somehow. Do you have that person? All right, here we go again. Repeat after me. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. May you be happy. And now we're going to send this message out to absolutely everyone on our planet. We're going to embrace the whole world. Here we go. May they be filled with loving kindness. May they be filled with loving kindness. May they be well. May they be well. May they be peaceful and at ease. May they be peaceful and at ease. May they be happy. May they be happy. And that is our meditation. So just take a deep breath in, hold it, release. And now you've heard a little taste of Soul Pajamas. Let's go and hear more of their music.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We other. We are one tie that binds us that can't be undone. I choose love. Peace for our planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One choice unites us. Let this be the one. I choose love. I choose love. I choose love.
Thank you. Thank you. That was amazing. Thank you so much, Dan and Erin. You were so talented. That was very centering and calming. So thank you, Tamara, for that meditation. I was rejoicing inside when I heard that it was the loving kindness meditation, because this is the day for that. We are doing the Love Thy Neighbor talk today. And of course, this is Bring a Friend Sunday. So welcome all the friends who are joining us, whether here in the Zoom room or out on our social medias, watching our live streaming on many of the platforms. I'm so happy to see you. Thank you for coming. And you've come at the perfect time, because this whole month, as Tamara said, it's all about loving out loud. And we have a challenge to love thy neighbor, because think about the rest of that sentence. Love thy neighbor as what? As thyself. But wait a minute, what is that assumption saying to us? That one must already love oneself. In fact, I have a quote here. I have several quotes. It's such a good, juicy Sunday. Ian Cummings from the United Methodist Church as a minister says, we are not made to hold half of our neighbors in contempt. Spiritually, we're not wired to feel hatred and mistrust toward each other. It's toxic to our souls. And I just want to pause and say, yes, it's toxic to hold hate in ourselves. And then Melody Beatty, who says codependent, who wrote the book Codependent No More, says, love thy neighbor as thyself. The problem sometimes is that's exactly what we're doing. We're loving the neighbor as ourselves, because the things we tell ourselves, the reason we can hate the other is because the kinds of things we say to ourselves sometimes are so unkind. We would never even imagine saying those things to someone else. And so Melody Beatty saying, well, let's listen to our self-talk. And then Ian Cummings, the minister from the United Methodist Church, takes that and says, yes, it's toxic to our souls to feel hatred towards someone else, mistrust towards someone else. So therefore, I would like to take those two pieces and thread them together and just know that we're not wired to feel this contempt toward ourselves. And so when we talk about this, we're talking about relationship. We are created for relationship, meaning that the divine imparted itself into each and every one of us. We talked last week about the diversity of life, how life thrives in diversity. I didn't mention how many beings will coexist. There will be one being, like a whale, who needs the crustaceans. Okay, someone help me. Is it krill? Yeah, on the whale. Those relationships are symbiotic. They need one another to thrive. We need each other to thrive. There's a reason why when we're isolated, when we're alone, when we don't have close friends, or at least just one or two, we enter into some dark space it's hard to come out of. We're not designed to be alone, to be isolated from one another, and to not feel that connection. Life is relationship. And relationships are vastly, vastly different, vastly individualized. Look at the abundant array of difference. And yet, think about it, a flower, there are so many kinds of flowers. We would never judge. I'm sure one flower is not like, well, I'm a daisy and I'm yellow and yellow's in, and you're a rose and you're not yellow, so I'm better. No, we humans love to take things and stack items on top of them and then make them our own. And it's not our nature. We are not wired to other. We are wired to connect. So when we make some group, some sector, some type, anything that's not in our immediate comfort zone, make that other, and then project our shadow side onto it, then we are feeling a little toxic. We have introduced a level of toxicity. And that's not our practice here at CSL, all over the world. What we want to remind ourselves every Sunday we come together, every time we commune, is that we celebrate the differences in one another. We revel in our relationships with one another. When the divine created us, it didn't just hope that we got along. It created needs. It created situations that needs would arise, that those of us who are watching and who are compassionate will recognize that someone needs us and will offer our help. This is how bonds are made. This is how the communities come together, and this is how we support each other. And I mentioned last week how in the midst of a disaster, and there have been so many things going on in the news, we can look and see how those situations caused us, some of us, humanity, to rise up and help. There's something in us that if we're not in the midst of having it happen to us, we'll help shoulder that burden, because we know we're connected. We feel it even in the highest senses of strife, the highest senses of conflict or disaster or tragedy. We all of a sudden, it doesn't matter what car we drive or what outfit somebody has on. All of a sudden, all we know is, how can I help? How can I help you? And this is a beautiful thing. If we can take the energy of oneness that we feel when we're in crisis, if we could take that into our daily lives, we're doing a great job, aren't we? That's a great idea. In fact, there's a cute little metaphor story. Imagine you're walking along a sidewalk, your arms are full of groceries, and someone roughly bumps into you from the side so that you fall. Your groceries are strewn all over the ground now. How are you feeling in this moment? Yeah. As you rise up from the puddle, you've got broken eggs around you and tomato juice and the orange juice just busted. You are ready to turn around, get a look at this person who bumped into you. You're ready to say, what is wrong with you? Are you blind? And then you look and you notice that the person that bumped into you is also on the ground amidst the grocery spill, and is also, yes, they're blind. So now all of a sudden, all that anger, what happens to it? Doesn't it just dissipate? And then, isn't it true that in this moment that you're imagining, don't you now want to reach and help this person? Isn't all the anger gone and all the compassion here? And now you're wondering how you can help. Are you hurt? Can I help you up? And in this moment, this is not hard. each of us can find in ourselves compassion where there used to be something other than that, or someone who could not help themselves, someone who cannot see. And so it's not personal now. They're not blind at you. They're just trying to move in this world. And this world for them must be so difficult to not have your sight. I mean, yikes, right? We have compassion. So I would love to take this moment and offer that we use this as an analogy or as a bridge. We can say, all right, now my mother-in-law just said something nasty. And I really want to tell her off. Ooh, but then I want to think about, what if she's kind of blind in a way? Kind of blind to whatever it is that she doesn't see that is my reality, blind and just ignorant, but not in a judgy, ignorant way, like you're ignorant. No, just ignorant of many things. And so what came out of her mouth was kind of like her tripping into me with my groceries in my hand. That analogy could be anything that I hold dear, just knocking it out, just ignoring the things I hold dear and just whatever she said out of her mouth. If I can breathe and take a moment and say, all right, so she's blind in this area. And then what must it be like to go through life not seeing? Yikes. And then if you really want to get her, are you okay? Now, I giggle because a lot of people may just use the shortcut. If someone really insults you, just stop, pause, and ask them if they're okay. If you do that without compassion, it's just another dig. So I would really hope that we move to the state of compassion, really move to see that this person is doing their best. And they're having a moment and they just can't see it. And then how do I come at them? Because as I mentioned several times to you guys in the past, I don't like saying things that I have to come back and apologize for. It's just not fun for me. I'd rather not have said that in the first place. And all I have to do is just take a breath, take a beat, hold on for a second. And then maybe I can be the loving energy that I love to think of myself as. So it all starts with ourselves. We start with ourselves being that representation of love in the world. Being that representation of love in the world. Oh, it's so good. And when we offer this help, when we offer this love, we're doing this not only for ourselves, it all starts with ourselves. Then we can extend it to community, your mother-in-law. So you guys know I'm not married. There is no mother-in-law. So just to clear that up, what about our bigger community? Let's say that you've decided I could probably give a little more of myself. I've spent a lot of time loving myself. Now I know who I am, and I've gotten completely used to me. Now I refer back to week 1 of this month for a discussion about getting so just radically in love with yourself that there's nothing anybody could say about you to hurt you, because you're like, yep, that's me. I procrastinate. Whoops, gotta love me. It's like the dings don't ding anymore. We've gotten that radical self-love. Then we bring that love to our close family, friends, our neighbors that are nearby, looking at them with compassion and how can I help? And then we take that out a little wider, our community. Now, the wider community may be your city, your state, your country. But how can we give of ourselves in community so that we can help make the world a better place, just one person at a time? There is a master falconer, I suppose, named Rodney Stotts, and he mentors young people on the streets. He's one of these that came up out of himself, loving himself, and said, how can I share from the overflow this love? He mentors young people on the streets, in schools, parks. He goes to the jails of Washington, D.C. He shows them, using his skills as a falconer, shows them how to care for injured birds. These efforts by Rodney and all of his mentees help give these birds a second chance. And this, when he does this with the marginalized youth, fixing a wing, teaching a youth how to fix a wing, the youth realize, wow, I've been similarly injured. There's a one-to-one correlation that if we can help nurture these birds back to fullness and wholeness, then maybe I have hope. One young man said, I was a bird with a broken wing. Rodney showed me that it's okay to trust, to allow someone to help me heal. So I love that about Rodney, that we're giving of service. We're giving service to a community without bopping them over the head with it. Like, young people especially, if we can sidle up to them and work on something together, then those little pockets of time, those quiet times of concentrating and focusing on something else, that builds a relationship. It allows that trust, that fluidity, that flow. And then they're likely to open up and tell you a story. And then as you fix the thing or look at the thing together, you can offer a little bit of advice. It's not so stare me in the eyes, look at me directly as I teach you, I want to pour into you. No. That's just freaky for everybody, right? Side by side, what can we work on together? How can I support you? And I love that the young man correlated that to, oh, I'm broken in a way. I can see that. And I also see that if I just trust, imagine these birds. The birds must be like, okay, look, I don't trust humans. We're not, oh, you're going to help me fix? Maybe I'll relax into your hands. Maybe I'll lean into that and allow you to fix me. My gosh, that's amazing. So that is the idea. We want to be humble and of service, as Jesus did. Jesus chose the road of humble service as well. And sacrificial suffering. Really, he taught by example and by parables. He demonstrated this is how we should treat others. Love your neighbor as yourself. Give, especially those on the margins of society. Jesus was one of our biggest social justice warriors, if you think about it. All the people on the margins of society, he spoke for them. And then, as we all know, his call was to follow his behavior, follow his activity, use him as a great example. He didn't say, I'm the great exception, worship me. He said, I'm the example, follow my example. And so this is what we do. We're trying to learn to love our neighbors, to bring out of ourselves that compassion that arises when we no longer hold others in contempt. When we no longer see other, what we see instead is, oh, look, yet another way Spirit is expressing itself. There's a myriad ways of Spirit expressing itself, not only in nature, but in personality, in sexuality. I said it. In all of the ways that we can be here, the whole range is present. And so we are here to have compassion for that. So it's bring your neighbor, or love your neighbor, also bring a friend Sunday. And I thought, what if we played a fun little game? Because I've been talking a lot about how you can love yourself, how you then, I always called it, wake up and bring that out into the world, not only to the whole world, but in your community and in the whole world. And so Tamara and I got together and we were like, oh, wouldn't it be fun if we had, you know how in those magazines, they have those quizzes and you could actually answer a few questions and give yourself a score on how well you're doing? Well, Tamara and I came up with a fun game And yeah, I'm going to share this with you starting at the top. All right. Okay, hold on. I have to share it from my other screen. 1 second. I'll be sharing a screen in 3, 2. Right there. All right, let's share it. All right, everybody, if you can, hold on, I have to start at the top because that's how it should be. Got to go to the top. Okay, try again. If you could take out a quick, just a short piece of paper, or you can even count on your fingers. Hopefully you'll run out of fingers. You'll have to start using your toes. This is a quick quiz, just a little litmus test to see where we are in our loving our neighbors. Okay, and just go through as I ask the questions, give yourself a point for every time you say yes to these questions, and then I'll let you know what are your next steps. Okay, as you know, we start with loving ourselves. So this week, I showed love to myself. There are 4 ways. The first way, luxury. Give yourself a point if this week you took an indulgent bath or shower. Okay. The next question, this week, give yourself a point if you took a nap or a timeout during the middle of the day. Good. The next one, this week, give yourself a point if you have meditated. Good. And the last one, this week, give yourself a point if you wore something that made you feel like vampy, confident. Great. All right. Good. Now let's go into my tribe. This is now for the month. During the last month, give yourself the last 30 days. Did you show love to your family, friends, and coworkers in these ways? This month, I paid for somebody's coffee, or I provided an unexpected surprise or gift to someone. Okay. This week, I paid someone a compliment for their performance, appearance, or contribution. Good. This month, or it says this week, but it's really the month, I helped to lighten someone's load by an act of kindness. And this month, I reached out to someone I haven't heard from in a while, and I told them I love them. Or either way, you reached out to somebody, or you always see this person, but you said, I love you. Good. All right, your tribe, through treating them, praising them, helping them, connecting with them. You've got your scores. Let's go into the world. Now, in the world, this year, I have shown love to my extended community and the world. How? This year, I thanked them. I expressed my appreciation for a service worker. I wrote a thank you note to a community leader. I recommended a local business on Yelp or something. This next one is improving. This year, I planted a tree. I picked up litter. I organized a community garden. Woo, that would be great this year. Did you do that? Did you take an action to care for our planet? And keeping your score, keep going here. This year, did you voluntarily help an elderly person? Did you serve? A struggling family, a new mother, a grieving person, or anyone battling an illness did you voluntarily help? Okay. And finally, this year, what about donations? Did you make a monetary contribution to an organization that's making the world a better place, like CSL Leesburg? Did you do it? Okay, give yourself your points. And now for the bonus round. There's just one. This year, I repeatedly forgive myself and all those who I believe have wronged me. Is that true about you? Repeatedly, because it's layers. It takes layers. Because you know we're all on the path of enlightenment. All right, wrap it up. How did you do? How is your score? Now, in the magazine, of course, we would say, if you scored, and then we'd give you some number and give you a score, but we will save that part for yourselves. I just know this. If you didn't score as highly, if you didn't answer yes to every one of those little orbs that popped up, you still have time. The beautiful part is this, we're on this planet today, right now. We have time to say yes to these questions. And I would even encourage you to ask yourself, how can I do even more? Add to the list of I have. Send them to us, Tamara and I, at our email at CSL Leesburg. We would love to make this survey a little bit bigger. How can we create this beautiful self-scorecard so we could just live our best lives in a way that impacts ourselves, our community, and the entire world? It's so good to be part of this community. It's so good to just know that I'm surrounded by like-minded people who want to make a difference in the world. Because loving each other means accepting everybody for where they are. Everybody right where they are. And for the final quote from this book, I think this book is interesting. It's called The New Jim Crow, Mass Incarceration in the Age of Colorblindness. And I think we need to use air quotes for that. He says, Martin Luther King Jr. called for us to be love-struck with each other, not colorblind toward each other. Do you hear the difference? Love-struck, not colorblind. See, to be love-struck, he says, is to care, to have deep compassion, and to be concerned for each and every individual, including the poor and the vulnerable. So we bring that in, just knowing that color blindness is not the point. We need to actually see the individual standing in front of us and ask ourselves, how can we serve today? So if you have any prayer requests, I hope you have typed them into the chat. It is already time to wrap it up. I just know that everything that is unfolded here has been just perfect. I invite us to go inside for prayer. Now, the way we pray is our spiritual mind treatment. It's a form of affirmative prayer where we speak our word knowing we're speaking into the law of creation, and what we speak about, we bring about with pure intention. So let's bring it in. There's only one divine power. That power moves in and through and as each and every one of us. It happens in us personally. It is in the midst of our relationships, and it is the only life that there is. Some call it Buddha, some call it Mother, Father, God, some call it Source, Divine Spirit. Anything we call it, it is all that ineffable presence that is bigger than us, yet not separate from us. This presence is everywhere felt. It is awaiting our consciousness of it. It is here and it supplies our every need. Only should we turn our face toward it. And so this loving, divine, nurturing, whole presence right here, right now, right in the midst of us. Can you feel it? It always says yes, loves everything about us. There was never any harm, hurt, or pain done to this highest part of each and every one of us. This is who we really are. And from this standpoint, from this higher ground, I speak my word that everything, unlike this higher presence of love, joy, peace, power, abundance, it just flees in the presence of this pure spirit. Like the light, just dispelling all darkness with no effort at all. We are created in that divine image to just thrive, to be in the midst of joy, and to reach out to one another and experience the true meaning of love. And so in this presence, I just know that all is well. Everything unfolds for our highest good. And so we can be grateful. I am grateful right here, right now, for everything that is, because I know that it is always unfolding. And so with this knowledge of this truth, I am grateful. I let it be. I release it into the law, knowing that it is already done. And so it is. Amen. Ashe. Soul Pajamas, take us home.
So I've got to tell this little story. Hang on. So we were in Boston wandering around on Friday, and we were crossing this road, and there was a big hole in the road. No indication that it was there. So I stepped into it, and I fell. And I didn't hurt myself, which is actually kind of amazing because I really came down hard. But this young couple ran over and was like, "Are you okay? How can we help you?" And, they were really hanging around. And so it's the exact thing you just talked about. It was, and, I looked at them and I just got this warm feeling. I'm like, wow, I didn't know young people did that anymore. It was great.
You're missing the whole part about the waitress who was like a nurse to us.
Then we had a waitress. She turned out to be an aspiring PA. She brought me ice. She was like, "Now you're going to have a cocktail, okay, but I said, I took a leave. I should be okay." She said, "Now you can only have one cocktail." I mean, it was really funny. But that immediately all happened. And it was like the universe, it makes you smile. Anyway, so before the service, we were talking with Charlene about how the songs of the 70s about love and peace really need to be brought back now because we really need them. So this one is from one of our heroes. I'm sure many of you feel the same way, Stevie Wonder. And we've always wanted to do this song, so it's a treat for us to do this. Good morning or evening, friends. Here's your friendly announcer. I have serious news to pass on to everybody. What I'm about to say could mean the world's disaster. Could change your joy and laughter to tears and pain. It's that love's in need of love today. Don't delay, send yours in right away. going round, breaking many hearts. Stop it, please, before you've gone too far. It seems we've turned away from kindness and compassion, and it will if we let it destroy everybody. We all must take precautionary measures. If love and peace you treasure, you hear me when I say that love's in need of love today. Don't delay, send it right away. Don't you know that haze is going round, breaking many hearts, breaking many hearts. Stop it, please, before it's gone too far. Whoa, 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 whoa. Before it's gone too far. Bring it down. Love's in need of love today. Don't delay, bring yours right away. Hate's going round, breaking many hearts. Stop it, please, before it's gone too far. You've got to give the world love.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you so much, Soul Pajamas. Thank you, Charlene, for that wonderful message. So now is the time to bless the donations that are shared today. At CSL Leesburg, we believe in the law of circulation. So we are a tithing community. The donations that are shared with us center bless everyone, those who give and those who receive. Your donation helps our center, our home organization, as well as organizations that support our vision of helping to create a world that works for everyone. There are so many ways that you can give. If you're a regular here, I know you've found the way to make your donations. If you're visiting, you can take a look. When we receive donations, it helps us do this every Sunday. And like I said, the law of circulation, what comes in, we make sure that we pass it along. So now, no matter how you are giving, please take that either physically or just visualize it and join me in our blessing of our gifts. The presence of Spirit within me blesses everyone I meet, tends to heal everything I touch, brings gladness into the life of everyone I contact. Therefore, I am a blessing to myself, to humankind, and to the day in which I live. And so it is. And now, as promised, it's time for announcements. So Dream Study is something that we do on Saturdays. We changed our time and our day on Saturdays at 10 o'clock.
Every other Saturday? Sorry, Tamara. I need to update this. Every other.
Every other. So it'll be next Saturday.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Which is looking the 24th. Will be the next Dream Study. And it's at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Join Charlene and her friends and just share your dreams. What have you been dreaming about? Sometimes we get messages through our dreams
We know that our consciousness is always working, and sometimes just that message that you need is buried in your dream, and Charlene and her friends will kind of help you uncover it. So that would be your dream study on Saturday, September 24th. Join them if you can, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. All right, that's it for our announcements. Thank you so much. If you were visiting us, please stay and hang out with us, maybe introduce yourself. We like to do something what we call pearls. Like I said in the beginning of the service, this is kind of like our coffee hour where we just hang around, we share. Was there anything from the meditation, the music, or the message today that really resonated with you? You can share that. If you have to leave us, if you have to sign off, then just know that we send you off with our love and blessings after we do our closing affirmation. So once again, take your hands, put them over your heart. Remember, our theme is loving out loud, and it begins with self-love. So give yourself a big old hug and join me with this statement. I am love.
I am love. Oh, let people unmute themselves. Okay, go.
So one more time. You ready? I am love.
I am love.
Love.
You see the smile you put on my face when I can hear you. I love that. All right, now look at somebody who's in the room. It could be a friend, it could be a loved one, a family member, it could be a furry companion, or it could be, like I said, we're all connected. So you can just send that message out to a specific someone. We know they'll receive it. All of a sudden they'll go, wait a second. I feel really good. Somebody's thinking of me. So here we go. You ready? Let's send that out. You are loved.
You
are loved.
And now put your hands up in the air for what we call love sprinkles. Remember, it is all love.
all love.
It's all
It's
love.
all love.
It's all love.
So much for joining us here today. If you can stay, hang out with us. If you have to go, like I said, know that we send you off with our love and our blessings. Have a wonderful day.